there's a moment, right after you miss a day. It looks small, harmless, almost insignificant. But what you don't see, what most men never see, is that in that exact moment, a chain reaction begins. A psychological collapse, a silent shift in identity. And if you don't interrupt it fast enough, one missed day doesn't stay one day. It becomes 3, then 5, then a full week of nothing. And by the time you realize what happened, you're back at 0. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why that happens, and more importantly, how to stop it before it destroys your discipline completely. You tell yourself, it's just one day. You're tired, busy, off schedule. So you skip. No big deal, right? Wrong. Because the damage is not in the missed day. The damage is in what that day teaches your brain. The moment you skip, your brain records something. Skipping is an option. And that single permission is all it takes to break your system. Let me show you what actually happens next. Day 1, you miss. You feel a little guilt, but you justify it. I'll get back on track tomorrow. Day 2, you wake up. Now there's friction. Because you're not starting fresh anymore, you're starting after failure. That's heavier. So, your brain says, you already broke the streak, one more day won't matter. You skip again. Day 3. Now, it's different. This isn't a mistake anymore. This is a pattern. And something dangerous starts to happen. Your identity begins to shift. You start thinking, maybe I'm not as disciplined as I thought. That thought alone weakens you. So, you skip again. Day 4, 5, 6. Now, you're no longer someone who slipped. You're someone who quit. And that's the moment most men never recover from. Not because they can't, but because they don't understand what just happened. Listen carefully. This is not about willpower. This is not about motivation. This is not about being lazy. This is a system failure. Because if your discipline depends on how you feel, it will always collapse under pressure. What you're experiencing is a failure spiral. And once it starts, it feeds itself. More missed days, to weaker identity, to less action, to more missed days. Until you're completely out of motion. Here's what most men never realize. The real damage isn't the lost days. It's the identity shift. At first, your identity is, I'm someone who shows up. And then, after a few misses, it becomes, I'm trying to be disciplined. Then eventually, I'm not that guy. And once your identity changes, your behavior follows automatically. Because behavior always follows identity. That's why it feels harder to restart after a few days. You're not just restarting the habit. You're fighting your own self-image. You don't have a recovery system. That's it. You have a starting system. You might even have a routine. But you don't have a system for when things go wrong. And things will go wrong. You will get tired. You will get busy. You will miss a day. That's not the problem. The problem is what happens next. Because without a system, failure becomes a spiral. But with a system, failure becomes a reset. You need one rule. And this rule will save your discipline. The 24-hour reset. When you miss a day, you have exactly 24 hours to execute again. Not when you feel ready. Not next Monday. Not when things calm down. Within 24 hours. Why? Because speed kills the spiral. If you act fast, the damage stays small. Your identity stays intact. Your momentum stays alive. But if you wait, the spiral grows. And recovery becomes harder with every passing day. There's another layer, and this is where most men fail again. You think, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. That mindset is what kills you. Because perfection is not the goal. Consistency is, So, instead of all or nothing, you adopt one rule: never zero. On your best days, you go all in. On your worst days, you do the minimum. But you never do nothing. Because zero is what breaks the chain. Zero is what starts the spiral. And once the spiral starts, you already know where it leads. This is the difference between men who stay disciplined and men who keep restarting. One relies on emotion. The other relies on a system. The emotional man says, "I'll do it when I feel like it." The system-driven man says, "I execute no matter what." That's the difference. One negotiates. The other decides once. And once you decide, there is no more discussion. So, the next time you miss a day, don't panic. Don't spiral. Don't overthink it. Just do one thing. Execute within 24 hours. Even if it's small. Even if it's imperfect. Because what you're protecting is not the task. It's your identity. You are training your brain to believe, "I am someone who comes back immediately." And that identity is unbreakable. Subscribe for more wisdom, and I'll show you the rest.